there's a group of us in Rohnert Park who work together on various things, and one of my friends with whom I've worked on more political matters has been a fellow who works for the state of California, and in fact you can see that he's an engineering geologist with the California Geological Survey. He also happens to be co-chair of the Technical Review Committee, and his name is Wayne Hayden, and he is going to talk to you about technical assistance to build capacity. Wayne, if you could come up, please.
All right, good morning. Thank you, Jake, for that introduction. As I said, I'm the co-chair of the Technical Peer Review Committee, and we introduced earlier today the rest of the Technical Peer Review Committee. But I'd like to recognize my other co-chair, Sandra Perez, as she's helping me out with everything that we're doing. Now, the job of the Technical Peer Review Committee, provide technical scientific review for the policy review panel. We use criteria established by the policy review panel. But you know, probably our biggest job is the second issue, reviews the plans and project applications, and that's really what I'd like to talk about today, is because I kind of see that it says what we've accomplished as a group over the last number of years. We also sit on ad hoc committees when the policy review panel comes up with something they'd like us to discuss. We are a multidisciplinary team, kind of broad perspective of abilities, cultural resources, engineering, ecology, geology, water supply, and wastewater. So we were able to cover a wide variety of topics. To this list, I'd also add expertise in agriculture, watershed evaluation and planning, and energy. We're geographically diverse. We come from all 7 of the counties. We have members of the tribes with us. The green dots sort of indicate where the bunch of us are from individually, so you can see we do cover the whole 7-county area. We are appointed by the county supervisors for each of the 7 counties, and the tribal leadership appoints their tribal members. It's been a really good group. This does make it a little bit tough to get together for coffee, though, on like a Wednesday morning. So, you know, we work with that. We work around with that. And sort of what we've accomplished in this is our review of the projects, and that's really what I kind of like to talk a lot about. Prompt 50, round 1 and 2, we've approved 21 projects for that. And that was when we reviewed those, out of a total of about 120 projects that were totaled to over $300 million, and we whittled it down to this. Prop 84, round 1, we approved 18 projects for $8.2 million throughout the North Coast. And that was out of 61 projects totaling over $69 million. Now, what I find real interesting about that, the cost-benefit analysis, is that out of that $8.2 million, it's a monetized benefit of almost $25 million. So this is really good seed money. Prop 84, round 2, 13 projects. We approved about $5.4 million worth of projects, but the monetized benefit of that turns out to be something like $36 million applied to the area. So we're pretty proud of that. So you can see the diversity of projects does require this multi-benefits. We have to have a group of people who can look at a lot of different types of things. We have a pretty well-defined, spelled-out process for evaluating each project. And 2 interesting things is, these rigorous requirements that we've created has created these really high-quality proposals and that are being used in other entities to seek out funding. And many federal, state, and foundation funders require you participate in this now before they'll let you even apply for their type of funding. So we're really kind of helping people along to other type of things. Project types. We kind of broke this into 3 main types of projects: water and wastewater infrastructure, and those, and the type of projects we funded: sewer pipeline replacements, septic pond constructions and removals, decommissioning, a sediment basin construction, stormwater drain constructions, water treatment system upgrades, stormwater retentions. We've funded pump stations, Water supply reliability. We've funded projects, water tank repair and construction, distribution pipelines, hydrants, storage pond constructions. We even upgraded rainy wells and rainwater capture projects. And sort of the bigger pie here, bigger piece of the pie is what we're calling the water quality improvements. And this really encapsulates a lot of the habitat restoration work that we've conducted or that we're funding. And this includes things like stream habitat riparian restoration, road upgrades and decommissionings in the rural areas, sediment reduction projects, gully repairs, large woody debris, all this really fun stuff that we get to get really dirty about. Stream crossing upgrades, biochar projects. Many of these projects have an educational component of them, so we're bringing people aware of these type of problems. Invasive species removal, fish passage improvements, and reforestation projects, just to name some of them. And by watershed management area, you can see we've provided funding throughout the region. Clearly, almost about half of it has gone to the North Coast rivers and the Russian bodega areas, but those are areas of main concern. But we have provided funding to all the different areas within our 7-county watersheds. And I want to talk about our habitat benefits. We broke them down into a number of categories here, but some of the things that we've been able to accomplish with these projects, it just blows me away. Enhanced stream flows, totaling out at about 2 million gallons of water a day, we've been able to increase stream flow enhancements. Many of our projects are assisting with TMDLs to reach their goals for sediment, pathogens, nutrients, things like that. Sediment reduction projects. We have funded projects stabilizing over 900,000 cubic yards of sediment from reaching the streams. That's a pretty good accomplishment. In the rural roads, we've paid to decommission almost 80 miles of rural roads and upgrading about 105 miles of rural roads. That's, I think, a pretty good accomplishment. Fish passage projects, the funding has opened up almost 160 miles of streams for fish passage that didn't exist prior to the projects. Some of the habitat restoration projects collectively have installed, and this kills me, 65,000 trees, shrubs and grasses throughout the area, restored almost 840 acres of riparian area. I mean, this seems like a lot of things. Riparian habitat, we have restored almost over 17 miles of riparian habitat within this area. And non-native plant removals, we've worked on about 515 acres of land with these projects. So the project sponsors, in other words, who has received this kind of funding, and I'd like to call it, some of the names. RCDs include, the RCDs from Mendocino, Humboldt, Goldridge, Del Norte, Sotiomi, now Sonoma, Trinity County RCD, Shasta Valley RCD. So we've really covered a lot. I think we've covered pretty much all the RCDs in the North Coast. Local governments, the cities of Santa Rosa, Fort Bragg, Eureka, Etna, Crescent City, and the counties of Humboldt and Modoc have received funding. Actually, the county of Siskiyou has received funding also for our projects. Local nonprofits, California Land Stewardship Institute, the Walla River Watershed Council, Redwood Forest Foundations, Mattole Restoration Council, Mendocino Land Trust, Pacific Coast Wildlife Wetlands Restoration, Yager Van Duzen Environmental Center. The tribes, all of the tribes have received funding this, and virtually all the tribal Property for grant proposals have been granted to the tribes. So we have granted money to the Pomo Nation, the Hopland Band of the Pomo Indians, the Karooks tribes, and the Yurok tribes have all received funding. Among water and wastewater providers, we've had Humboldt County, Municipal Water District, Siskiyou counties, Big Rock, a bunch of the CSDs, Big Rock CSD, West Haven, Happy Camp, Covelo CD, water agencies, Mendocino County Water Agency, Sonoma County Water Agencies received funding. So we've really spread the money around. The one project for state government went to parks. So we don't want to forget them. So there's also been socioeconomic benefits to all this. And what I think it's really important, we've protected the agricultural resource dependent heritage. With farmers, ranchers, we've helped them stay on their land, keep their lands productive. The project's provided social health and safety. We've improved access for emergency vehicles to get to these more rural backcountry areas. Public health, protected public health through contamination reduction. But also this last point, all the projects have used local labor and supplies whenever possible, which is virtually all of them, and all contribute to the state goals for environmental justice and social equality. So I really think that by funding all these projects, we've really helped move this whole agenda along for the North Karst area. That's it. Thank you.